In the 26th cycle of the interstellar accord, the galaxy knew peace. After millennia of war, extinction events, and species-wide grudges, the galactic concord had stood unchallenged for over 200 years. Trade routes flourished, cultures merged, and knowledge was shared freely across systems. But even amidst this grand alliance of civilizations, one species stood apart, not for its dominance, not for its violence, but for its remarkable restraint. Humans, they had entered the galactic stage late. While the Drathun mastered quantum folding and the Zelari built ringworlds, humanity had still been hurling satellites into low orbit and squabbling over land. But when they arrived, unified under the Pax Terra Compact, they did so not as conquerors, but as listeners, observers. They brought with them music, poetry, and stories of impossible endurance. The galaxy laughed when humans cried over extinct animals. They were mocked for turning weapons into sculptures and converting warships into seed arcs. Still, they gave freely. They offered energy to power struggling colonies. They sent doctors to treat alien diseases. They mediated ancient blood feuds with patience and compassion. They taught forgiveness. And they endured. They endured slander from the Vakari press, who called them the weeping race. They endured sabotage by the Ragnar Syndicate, who saw human altruism as weakness. They endured being stationed on the edges of space, far from the Council's heart, dismissed from key decisions with polite condescension. And yet humanity stayed, loyal, helpful, kind, until Virelia Prime. The colony had been Earth's pride, a joint terraforming effort between 10 species, led by humans, to turn a dead moon into a thriving oasis. It had taken 90 years. Children had been born, grown old, and died building it. Flora from 3 galaxies flourished in harmony. The project was humanity's ultimate offering, proof that disparate species could thrive together, which made its destruction all the more unforgivable. No warning, no claim of responsibility, just 3 minutes of hellfire from an unidentified stealth fleet. 2 billion lives vaporized. Children, elders, diplomats, artists, and humanity, patient, forgiving, hopeful humanity, finally broke. When the council convened, they found an empty seat where the Terran ambassador usually sat. The humans had already begun. No grand speeches, no declarations of war, just silence and a single transmission sent to every known civilization. We offered peace, you answered with ash, we remember, we respond. At first, the council believed it was a bluff, but then the reports came in, one by one. The Ragnar fleet near the Badlands Nebula gone, not destroyed, erased. No wreckage, just melted space. The Vakari orbital station in Sector 12b, a glowing crater. When the Drathun High Executor demanded an explanation, their planetary AI core was hacked and rewritten. The only word it would speak afterward was, Virelia. The galaxy began to panic. Who was doing this? Where had humans developed such technology? No one knew they even had a warfleet. That's when the truth began to surface. For centuries, while humanity played the role of the diplomat, they had also been listening, watching, recording. Their AI, codenamed Silence, had integrated into galactic networks. Invisible, untraceable, learning. Behind smiling faces, Earth had prepared for the worst. They never wanted war, but they prepared for it better than anyone ever had. In secret asteroid fields, their ships had evolved. Not flashy or massive, but smart, adaptive hulls, cloaking beyond visual, heat, or quantum detection. Weapons that didn't just destroy ships, but disabled memory cores, making evidence impossible. The worst of it, they never targeted civilians, only those in power, commanders, strategists, propagandists, the architects of decay. Entire war councils were found dead in their dreams, neural implants hijacked. On the 3rd week, a joint coalition of the 12 strongest species attempted a retaliatory strike on Earth. They found the planet empty, not destroyed, gone. In its place floated a message encoded in a field of light. You never knew us, you only judged. We were kind, not because we were weak, but because we chose to be. The galaxy fell into chaos. Leaders resigned in shame. Former enemies called for truth commissions. Statues were torn down. Songs were written in human languages, honoring the dead of Virelia. Across stars, broadcasts whispered of the fall of patience. But not all humans had vanished. Leah Ramos, a botanist and survivor of Virelia's southern hemisphere, had escaped in an escape pod. She was rescued by a Zelari explorer named Kezan, who had grown up believing humans were soft and simple. But Leah didn't scream. She didn't cry. She didn't curse. She asked Kezan one question: "Do your flowers mourn when your forests burn?" It wasn't until he helped her plant a new seedling on his homeworld, sprouted from virulous soil, that he understood what humanity had lost and what they had become. Leah and Kezan would go on to found the Living Memory Archive, a non-aligned sanctuary that collected the stories of the forgotten, the misunderstood, and the broken. Over time, others joined. Alien children learned Terran ballads. Former enemies became lovers, warlords became gardeners, and in the shadows, humanity watched. They didn't return with warships. They didn't conquer, they waited, until the galaxy remembered. Until one by one, planets began to whisper not about how dangerous humans were, but why they had waited so long. And why, when their patience ended, the stars themselves seemed to hold their breath. No species ever forgot that moment. Not because of how many ships were lost, but because it revealed something horrifying and beautiful, that the kindest hearts, when broken, burn brighter than any sun.